Hey everybody, it's Eric and Christina Hudes with the Hudes Group, and we're here to talk to you today about everybody's favorite subject, recessions.
You may or may not know that we are actually in the longest economic recovery in American history right now. And because of that, a lot of people are talking about when the next recession is going to be.
Yeah, if you've read any news publication, watched any news network, they've told you that an economic recession is imminent.
And that terrifies a lot of people because of 2007 and 2008 when home prices plummeted, and it was devastating for a lot of families. Now, a recession does not equal a housing crisis, okay? I'm gonna say that again. A recession does not equal a housing crisis. Now, a lot of people associate the two things because of 2007, but that's only because that recession was caused by the housing market. If you had a piece of paper, if you had a pen and could write a number on a piece of paper, the bank would pretty much give you any kind of loan that you wanted. And that doesn't happen anymore. There's a lot of regulations in place to prevent things like that from happening now. So that recession was caused by the housing market, and that's why home values went down so much during that recession.
Yeah, and not every recession is caused by the housing market. In fact, in a recent survey where they polled the top economic experts in the country, I'm talking about from Wall Street Journal, Duke University, etc., they came up with the defining factors that will cause the next recession. And the housing market came in at number 9. That means they had 8 other economic factors that would cause a recession that would more likely than the housing market.
And so they're guessing and predicting that it might be the stock market, that it might be trade wars. And like Eric said, housing comes in at number 9. So let's talk about what exactly is a recession if it doesn't always affect home values.
I'm glad you asked. Just so happens, we wrote it down for you. A recession is a temporary economic decline identified by the GDP falling for 2 consecutive quarters.
Now, I didn't hear anything about home prices in that definition.
That's because I didn't mention anything about home prices in that definition.
Okay, so the point we're trying to make is that a recession does not always affect home values like it did in 2007 and 2008. And again, that happened because that recession was caused by the housing market. And experts are predicting that this next recession is not going to be caused by the housing market. In fact, those same experts who did that survey that Eric was talking about are predicting that home values are going to go up during the next recession. So let's take a look at the last 5 recessions that we've had in history. If you look at this graph, you'll see that only 2 of the last 5 recessions, home values went down. So in 2007 and 2008, they went down a lot. In 2001, they only went down by 2%. That's a really small fraction of a home value, 2%. And then the other 3 recessions, home values went up. So we're rooting for the economists who say that home values are going to go up during this next recession. But there's also some economists who are saying, well, this one might look a lot like 2001 when home values went down by 2%. So let's compare home values going down by 2% to waiting and not buying for the next 2 years. So a lot of people are saying, I don't want to buy during this next recession. I'm just going to wait and rent. So we're going to compare a 2% drop in home values to renting over the next 2 years.
So in this example, Sarah will be the one that decides that she's going to wait out the economic recession and rent for the next 2 years, while George is going to get into the market and buy a home because he knows he can absolutely afford it. Sarah pays $2,500 a month in rent. Pretty common rent prices for what we see in Orange County. She rents for 2 years, which is 24 months. $2,500 times 24 months is $60,000. That's $60,000 that's not going to anything of her future, not adding anything to her equity. It's just gone.
She's paying down her landlord's mortgage instead of her own.
Right. Now, George, on the other hand, buys a house at $600,000. Now, let's say the economic recession happens and his home drops by 2% in price. In that time, that is a $12,000 drop. Now, I don't know about you, but I'd rather have a $12,000 drop than a $60,000 drop. And the truth is, if all George has to do is just wait out the recession for it to happen, and then he can sell after his home value goes up. So really, he's not even losing this $12,000 if he's not selling his home when the recession is taking place.
So as Eric said, home prices always fluctuate. So the only way George will see this $12,000 loss in his home value is if he sells during the recession. And now Sarah didn't buy at all and she lost $60,000 in rent, which is a huge difference. So a lot of people ask us, when is the right time to buy a house? And I'm gonna be honest with you, it is impossible to time the market. These are predictions, nobody has a crystal ball, nobody knows for sure. However, the right time to buy a house is when you can make sure that you can absolutely afford a house, get pre-approved with a lender, and when you find the right one, when you have choices of homes on the market and when you find the right one. And right now, interest rates are at historical lows. Inventory is higher than it has ever been in the last couple of years. So there are a lot of great things about the housing market, and we invite you to come to our brunch and learn. And we are the only realtors and the first realtors in Orange County to host these brunch and learn events, where we're gonna be informing you as a homeowner and as a future homeowner what the housing market is doing right now, how this recession is going to impact it, and we'll answer any questions that you have. So thank you guys so much. We'll see you soon.
See you guys.